There's also, when we signed off last night, there was a story of Melania Trump, who put that volume down just a little bit more. Melania Trump, who, of course, plagiarized from Michelle Obama's speech in 2008. Do we have any sound for these speeches? Yeah. Okay, so let's go into this. So last night, Melania Trump delivered what was, by all accounts, a very non-damaging speech for the Trump campaign. She was able to get through it. There was some concern. People didn't even focus on the fact that that her trials and tribulations dealt with the runways of Milan and Paris. I mean,
very difficult times.
Very difficult.
I also found it shocking when she said that Donald Trump had been worried about American jobs since the moment she met him. Sort of conjuring what that first conversation could have possibly been like.
Well, there was a lot of people who made the point, when there was still like sort of analysis on the substance of the speech, that the reason why you have the wife or your husband to speak about you is to humanize you. To tell a story about that shows that you're a loving person, that you're a human person, you're an empathetic person, that you have feelings.
Big time empathetic.
Total big league. But what struck me about that speech is Melania Trump could have given that speech like her husband could have been anybody. It could have been me. It could have been you. It could have been Matt. It could have been Kelly. And it all would have applied.
But not
it was
Barack
so
Obama
generic.
Because he is black. And
Right.
I don't know.
But
we
it
don't
all
do
would have
this.
applied.
Yes.
In fact, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, well, except it
In
was literally
fact,
still.
Michael says, but not Barack Obama. No, in fact, yes, specifically Barack Obama, because these words, which we're going to play, we're now going to compare Melina and Michelle's speeches. And when Michelle Obama gave this speech in 2008, it was about Barack Obama. And so Melania, I don't know. We don't know how she got these words in her speech. Trump won't tell us. But here, you decide. Is this plagiarism or just coincidence?
And Barack and I were raised with so many of the same values. Like, you work hard for what you want in life.
The values that you work hard for what you want in life.
That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
That your word is your bond, and you do what you say and keep your promise.
You're doing
That you treat people with dignity and respect.
That you treat people with respect.
Because we want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
Because we want our children in this nation to know that the only limit to your achievements is the strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
Now, that's something you say in common discourse. So I don't know why that's just, I mean, it seems to me it could very well be a coincidence that two first ladies giving a potential would-be first ladies give that same speech 8 years apart.
Couldn't you see Melania in the first prep session be like, why it say I'm married to Barack?
Now, this guy who's on CNN right now, this guy Andy Dean, last night I watched him after I got home last night at 1 a.m, say like, this may not be a big deal. He's a Trump surrogate. This may not be a big deal, blah, blah, blah. And then he went back and it's like, they actually handed him the transcript and he goes, no comment. And so, so the real question becomes,
That's so great.
How did this get into her speech? And there's been a lot of speculation. Now, of course, she told Matt Lauer that she wrote most of the speech with a little help of the handlers. Let me tell you something. A professional speechwriter would have never done this. In fact, that's like the primary job that you get from speechwriter, professional speechwriter, is to borrow themes from the past, but not to plagiarize. Because if you plagiarize from someone from 8 years ago, it's going to get found out. if you plagiarize from someone that you have built your entire campaign and almost your entire political career on demonizing, it's going to come out and it's going to look bad for you.
Yeah, maybe so.
So as a speechwriter, you don't do that. Now, there was a story today that perhaps it was a guy, Brian Scully, who they had contracted to do this about, a long time ago. And he maybe wrote the first draft. Now, I will tell you the first thing that I thought of when I thought it was my story when I was in high school, when my dad found a joint in my house after he'd gone away and I had a party. And he confronted me with it. And the first thing he said, "Did you have anybody over this weekend?" I said, "Yes. A guy named Jimmy Sullivan."
Yes, Jimmy Sullivan. He who has written my speech. This is Jimmy Sullivan. It is the same man.
And it was a guy
You
I
take the
did not
words
know. A guy I did not know that well. And I just said, if that kid, first of all, he's never coming here again, which was an easy promise for me to make,
will
unbeknownst
never
to my
work on
dad,
campaign again.
because he didn't exist.
I don't know.
But-
Donald has such a big heart. He hired him, but no more he coming.
Jimmy Sullivan, the 2 times he's ever made this show were from the time that he didn't exist and smoked a joint in my house and left it there, and then went on to write Melania Trump's speech. Now, here's the thing. It could be Jared Kushner, the son-in-law, who has
Very-
written some speeches. He could have done it.
That's sort of the palace.
There's some
intrigue
people who
theory.
think that maybe this was some type of
that Ivanka
sabotage.
set her up. That's the
Perhaps
theory.
we'll get to that in a minute. Or it could be just that she actually did write part of her speech, or that Trump did, and they just thought nobody's going to notice because they're not paying attention. I mean, Trump was on the phone with Fox during half of the convention speeches last night anyways, competing against his own convention. Here's the thing. Just ask yourself, if you were going to be potentially first lady and you had to give a speech, what would be the first thing you would do?
Probably consult Michelle Obama's previous speeches and plagiarize them.
Not just Michelle Obama. I would go back and I would look at all of the last, let's say, 5, 10 modern era speeches by these people.
I wish she had plagiarized Mitt Romney's wife. Donald Trump love women.
Yeah. So there. So
I like them very much.
I don't.
What we want.
I don't know. But what's fascinating about this is that you have mainstream pundits. They're focused on this like they've never been focused on anything. The whole night could be full of racism,
Yes.
full of trying to scare people, authoritarianism, lies, and half-truths. And they were like, well, it was delivered well. But this is a process story.
Delivered well.
This is a process story, so they can actually embrace it. And so this story is going to live on for a while, and it's going to be interesting to see. The Trump people are not going to back down because they can't fire Jared Kushner, and they can't come out, and so they're just going to deny. Fascinating.
Wait a second. I just got a tweet. I can't believe no one's ever put this together. It's John Miller.
John Miller. I think there's somebody at the door.
Except,
I think
you know what, to be
we're
fair-
anticipating Tara Devlin, who has worked with Mike Malloy. I think she's going to come be our studio audience tonight.
But wait a second, maybe
Hope she
it's-
likes Chinese food.
Maybe it's not John
Yes,
Miller
she is
because
there. She
Trump
is.
Trump loves John Miller because Don Miller is Trump, so couldn't it be him?
I think
If it
John-
was
Well,
a
I
mess
think it's
up.
possible. I think Donald Trump could have possibly been the one who, in fact, wrote the speech, but we don't know. Now, look, there's another story. There's another story here that perhaps it was some type of sabotage, that perhaps it's possible that maybe Jared Kushner, maybe Ivana
Trump.
Who's the daughter?
The daughter, Ivanka.
Ivanka.
I believe is it Ivanka or Ivana? I actually don't know. Matt, do you know?
The daughter.
Ivanka, the daughter.
Doesn't
the
like
daughter that
the
Trump
mother-in-law,
crushes on.
right?
Yeah.
Doesn't like the mother-in-law, the stepmom, and so wanted to throw her under the bus. Okay, maybe they didn't want her to even. They don't want Donald Trump to win. Who knows? And the reason, the basis for this theory is not just the fact that they plagiarized from Michelle Obama. It's that Melania Trump rickrolled people. Now, what does that mean? If you're not familiar with the internet narratives and memes, Rick rolling is based on that Rick Astley song.
Yes.
And it goes something like, never gonna let you go. Let
Do
you,
that
give
more.
you up,
Don't,
never
why
gonna
don't,
let you
don't
down.
interrupt
never gonna
Sam
give
when he's
you up.
embarrassing himself
Never gonna
like
let
that.
you down. I'm not
Yes.
embarrassing myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a great singer.
No, you're
I
not
don't-
embarrassing yourself. Keep going. Excuse me.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Now, and so basically what happens is like there was an internet meme like you click on it, you think you're getting something else, and you end up getting that Rick Astley song. Well, here is Melania Trump last night, rickrolling the GOP convention. They think they're going to get plagiarized Michelle Obama, but in fact, they get this.
He will never, ever give up. And most importantly, he will never, ever let you down.
Do we have? Hello, you. I'm Sam Seder. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.